Oh, you're in love, all right. But do you spend more time fantasizing about your partner than you do actually with them? If you do, you're probably experiencing limerence. Hi, I'm Jarrels. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I help couples find their happy. Okay, so today we're going to talk about what limerence is and what it isn't. I've got 5 characteristics of limerence so that you can know and recognize it when you see it. The first thing is obsessive thoughts. If you find yourself constantly in your head more than you are in real life, you're thinking about all of the things that you've done with that person, said to that person, maybe replaying over and over and over in your mind every single little interaction you've had with them. You might even find that you're not only thinking about them all the time, but those thoughts are intrusive. You can't even seem to concentrate on anything else you're doing. And it might be either the person that you're in a relationship with or somebody that you're just infatuated with. Either way, you cannot seem to get them out of your mind, and you're constantly obsessing over them. The second characteristic is that they are idealized. So that version of the person that you have in your head is an idealized version of them. It's not a true representation of who they are. So every little thing they do is perfect. You see everything they say as wonderful, and that it's almost as if they can't do anything wrong. All right, that brings us to the next thing, which is a need for reciprocation. We have this strong desire to have them shower us with all of the feelings of love and affection and admiration that we share with them. We want them to shower it back on us. And this can often lead to a roller coaster of emotions while we're not getting from them what we think they should be giving us, but we're showering them with the things that we think we deserve. The next characteristic, or characteristic number 4, is constant daydreaming. Maybe you find yourself in your head, like I said before. It's a fantasy version or an imagined version of that person that you're thinking about. And if that's the case, you're spending too much time inside your own head, which means you're not spending enough time with them in real life. So because we do that, we catch ourselves constantly going over every scenario that we've ever talked to them about, or every little interaction we've had with them, possibly even creating new elaborate scenarios in our mind, thinking about all of the things that they should be saying to us that we wish they were saying to us and that we're not necessarily getting in real life with them. The 5th characteristic is fear of rejection. And of course, fear of rejection leads us to the other things we're doing, which is keeping us inside of our own head. Instead of actually spending time or doing things with them, we find ourselves fantasizing about imagined events or scenarios because we are terrified of having them actually reject us in real life. So we end up keeping ourselves from genuine affection and a genuine connection with that person by spending all of the time in our head because of our desperate fear of them rejecting us. All right, we've gone over the characteristics of limerence. So how is limerence different than real love? I know I said that it's different, so let's go over the reasons or the things that really truly set it apart so that you can tell the difference very quickly. One of the first characteristics that's different between limerence and love is longevity. Okay, love is meant to last, and I'm sure you've heard that before. But limerence is temporary, and it's fleeting. It's intense. It's basically like a fire, but you're burning all of the wood at once. Unlike love, that's a kind of a slow burn and has passionate flare-ups, limerence is all fire all the time. The second characteristic that sets limerence apart from love is a deep understanding of the person. A genuine understanding of the other person. Not just the things that make them special, but their flaws and all of the things that are not perfect. And it's having that genuine understanding of who they actually are that separates love from limerence. Because limerence is an imagined version of them where you can be passionately involved and infatuated with that idealized version of them. But it's different from love because love is an actual acceptance of the genuine, authentic person. The third thing that sets limerence and love apart from one another is mutual reciprocation. Because when you're mutually reciprocating, you're giving and they're giving, you're receiving, they're receiving. It's a relationship of give and take. of push and pull. It's a dance, whereas limerence is usually very much one-sided. It's normally in the head of the person experiencing the limerence. The fourth characteristic is stability. And that really sets the difference between love and limerence. Limerence is much more a boiling cauldron of passion that's just all fire all the time, all heat. Whereas love is much more stable. I'm not saying it can't be passionate at times, because it definitely can and should be, but it has a more long-term stability to it. It feels right. You're giving to your partner, they're giving back. It's something you can count on without all the emotional roller coaster of having to beg for their acceptance or their appreciation over every little tiny thing. The last one is emotional attachment. And of course this makes sense because you're going to be emotionally attached to one another if you are in love. Whereas if you're in limerence, then it's mostly all in the mind of the beholder, right? The person with limerence has created this fantastical false relationship it's just in their mind, and they're creating it all inside their own head. So everything the other person says and thinks and does, they're putting it into this relationship that's in their mind. It's a one-sided relationship versus a mutual connection of emotional attachment with and between two people. Now for the bonus section. I'm glad you made it this far because I'm about to explain to you how to notice limerence in not only yourself, but also in your partner in a really fast and easy way. The way to recognize limerence in either yourself or your partner in a very fast manner is categorized by this: intense physical reactions. When you feel your heart starting to palpitate and pound out of your chest, your mouth gets dry, everything's going crazy, and you can't seem to grab onto reality because you feel swept up and carried away in a physical manner, or you notice that in someone else, that when you're around or they're around somebody else, that they get caught and swept up in this intense reaction to a physical state that they're in, then it's probably because our physical body manifests what's going on in our head. So they're actually emotional states of mind. So if you're not happy with the way you're feeling at the moment, change what you're thinking about. Now, how do we change what we're thinking about? We use our imagination, right? I believe that our imagination is our sixth sense. We see things, feel things, taste things, touch things, smell things, and we imagine them. And I think the most important of those is our imagination. Now, if you learn to use your imagination appropriately and in a positive manner, then it will benefit you for the rest of your life. When we use our imagination, we're able to activate all 5 of the other senses inside of our mind. That means that we can use it to benefit our relationship. Let's say, for instance, that your significant other or your spouse doesn't reciprocate and say the words, "I love you," as often as you would like them to. This can tend to make us feel bad and make us feel like we're not loved when we know full well that we are. They just can't bring themselves to say the words as often as we want to hear them. So what do? We go back and we remember or we imagine all of the times that they said it. Now here's the key, is when we remember or we imagine that they're saying "I love you," we actually mentally give them credit for saying "I love you," and then we treat them better, which makes them feel more in love with us, which makes them probably say it more often anyway. That's it for this video. If you found it informational, please do drop me a like and subscribe, and don't forget to share your experiences with limerence in the comments. Thanks. See you next time.